Hello and welcome to Valuechain News. I am Naomi Oleribe. First, the headlines. Nigeria must leverage technology for energy transition, Kyari. Support military to end crude oil theft, group urges Niger Delta leaders. Adova to complete 20,000 metric tons LPG facility in December. And now, the news in detail. The Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited, Malamele Kyari, has said Nigeria and other African countries must leverage technology and innovation to facilitate energy access and transition. The GMD said this on Monday in a lecture titled Energy Transition and Energy Accessibility, the New Paradigm, delivered at the 30th Convocation Ceremony of the Federal University of Technology, Mina, Niger State. He said the need to leverage technology and innovation had become compelling to support energy sufficiency, industrialization, job creation, and economic growth. Kyari added that while findings have shown that the global transition to renewable energy will continue to accelerate, the pace may not be fast enough to balance the impact of economic expansion and population growth in the world, adding that the rising global population, especially in Asia and Africa, will significantly push energy demand upward, where renewable energy sources cannot meet the global energy demand by 2050. Kyari stated that the NNPC is determined to achieve carbon neutrality using Nigeria's ample natural gas resources as a low-carbon alternative that will help improve access to energy, thereby strengthening the Nigerian economy. To achieve a seamless transition to cleaner energy, global players must promote diversification of energy sources to improve global access to energy and reduce the number of people without access to energy, especially in Africa, Kyari said. He added that as the transition to cleaner energy gains momentum, especially across the developed countries, oil companies must continuously improve operational efficiency and reduce their costs to remain on the playground. The GMD added that inclusive policy action have become the necessary ingredients required to achieve a net zero carbon economy, as well as Sustainable Development Goals number 7, which seeks to address energy poverty, especially among the least developed countries. Nigerian Integrated Petroleum Product Marketing Company, Adova PLC, has expressed optimism towards completing its 20,000 metric tons liquefied petroleum gas LPG storage facility by December 2022. According to the company, the LPG facility, which sits on an 8.8 hectares of land in Lagos and reputed to be West Africa's largest LPG storage facility, underscores Adova's commitment to growing revenues from cleaner fuels. Chief Executive Officer of the organization, Mr. Olumide Adeosun, made this known recently during a groundbreaking ceremony to commemorate the ongoing construction of the LPG storage facility in Ijora, Lagos. He said the event marks an important step in Adova's evolution to an integrated energy company, stressing that the company was looking forward to a future where renewables and cleaner fuels represent a considerable segment of its product offering and balance sheets. Adeosun noted that the facility, when completed, would place Adova at the top of the industry in receiving, blending, storing, and distributing the product to both commercial and retail customers. A non-partisan advocacy organization, the Economic Sustenance Group (ESG), has urged leaders in the Niger Delta and other oil-producing communities to support the armed forces of Nigeria in the fight against crude oil thieves in the region. The group said available scientific facts suggest that aside enormous economic loss to the country as a result of the crude oil theft, their nefarious activities have also led to environmental challenges such as the suit in Rivers State. In a press release signed by its president and secretary Okoro Anslem and Baba Usman respectively, commended the Chief of Defense Staff General Lucky Irabo for his recent operational visit to troops of Joint Task Force South-South Operation Delta Safe. Leaders of the Niger Delta region should, as a matter of urgency, intensify support and cooperation with the armed forces of Nigeria to deal with nefarious activities of illegal refiners causing the people serious health challenges. We can't continue to neglect the soot problem in Port Harcourt and environs. The health implications cannot be overemphasized, the group stated, stressing that the recent visit to the region by the Chief of Defense Staff, General Irabo, was a pointer that the armed forces is determined to decisively deal with the situation. Top officials of French Total have met with Mozambique's president with a proposal to relaunch a gas production project suspended last year. Following a jihadist attack in March 2021, Total halted operations at a site exploring a major field in northern Mozambique. Then, the energy giant shut its operations and withdrew all staff. The gas project was worth more than $15 billion, but the gas-rich Cabo Delgado province has been battered by a jihadist insurgency since 2017. The violence has so far killed at least 2,600 people and displaced nearly 700,000 people. Total Energies planned to start the production on site in 2024, but it was postponed until 2026. Last summer, Rwanda and countries part of the Southern African Development Community sent at least 3,000 soldiers. Mozambique does not produce oil and therefore relies on imports. However, the country is one of the largest holders of gas reserves in Africa. The Biden administration on Monday announced its plan to release $1.15 billion to affected states to mitigate emission of methane from oil and gas wells, potent climate-changing greenhouse gas. Methane is a main component of natural gas and accounts for 10% of U.S. greenhouse gas emissions. The oil and gas industry represents nearly 30% of the country's methane emissions. Methane is 84 times more potent than carbon and does not last as long in the atmosphere before it breaks down, which makes it a significant target for reducing global warming more quickly while simultaneously working to reduce other greenhouse gases. Interior Secretary Deb Haaland said in a statement that the funding enables the government to confront the legacy pollution and long-standing environmental injustice that for too long have plagued underrepresented communities. The White House last year helped move forward the Global Methane Pledge, a pact to cut methane emissions by 30% by the end of the decade. More than 100 nations have joined the pledge, including 15 of the world's top 30 methane emitters, according to the White House. The White House also described efforts to require pipeline operators to minimize methane leaks, conduct research to conduct methane emissions from beef and dairy system, and create a new interagency working group to coordinate the measurement, monitoring, and reporting of greenhouse gas emissions. While projections in the 2022 budget appear somewhat realistic, the Institute of Directors (IOD) Nigeria has warned that lack of will to follow through critical reforms by fiscal authorities, rising insecurity, and low level of vaccination rates could constitute the major setback to Nigeria's short-term growth prospects. President and Chairman, Governing Council (IOD), Dr. E.J. Jidenma, stated this at a webinar organized by the Institute. The forum with the theme, The Director's Prospects for 2022, What Would Change and What You Should Do, noted that the year would be impacted by the political activities as the 2023 election draw near. Dr. Jidenma advised business owners, directors and managers to neglect the effect of political activities at their own detriment, saying recovery in 2022 will be impacted by effective management of the pandemic, proper management and spread of vaccination, direction of global oil markets, and the quality of policies and programs. While urging business operators to continue to devise strategies to keep their businesses running, she said the new era for the economy was a major test of members' resilience and a challenge to their innovative capacities. She said corporate entities must constantly review their operating models to identify activities that could be discontinued during the pandemic to reduce their operating costs. Before we end the news, here's a recap of our headlines. Nigeria must leverage technology for energy transition, Kyari. Support military to end crude oil theft, group urges Niger Delta leaders. At Dover to complete 20,000 metric tons LPG facility in December. And that's the news. I am Naomi Oleribe. Good evening.